you told him we was sitting at 812.
812. I didn't say
It's what they want.
I had to put the kids to bed, man, and
What they want.
I had to give them what they want, which was a bedtime story. With your moms.
I'm coming fresh off of high school soccer tryouts, which is a difficult process because the school that I coach at, we have a lot of really good athletes, not a lot of soccer players. So there's a fine line between, can I turn this athlete into a soccer player? So we had about 23 new kids come to try out. So I'm gonna sleep on it and hopefully try to get a squad together tomorrow, man. But
I mean, that's why they pay the big bucks to make those kind of decisions.
That's right. That's right. So man, it's been a minute, man. Are y'all getting ravished by Sally in Baton Rouge right now?
Ooh, Sally. It's like Laura blew west of us, and Sally is now blown to the east, to the east. So it's dry land here.
We have gotten at most, a few showers, but mostly just wind, man. Like
just wind,
just wind, just crazy wind. But
so we got some. We feeling the gusts from Sally. We had 2 days off from school and everything
because they was afraid everyone was gonna get blown away.
We don't play with them. I'm telling you.
I mean,
play with the Hurricanes out there, bro.
We got hit pretty hard on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, like Panhandle, Alabama, things like that. I think they got hit pretty severe. But all right. So back. Man, today is the 15th, 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's been like 2 weeks. I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped since school started.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like we had school, but football has cranked up like for real. Now we're gonna be playing on October the 1st, I believe, or the 2nd, October 2nd. It's game day.
Right. Are you excited? You excited?
Oh, which, come on, you know how I am, dog. I'm ready.
Hey man, we've won our first 2 games. So we got a big matchup coming this Friday with Northwest Rankin. Remember I took you by Northwest Rankin?
Yeah.
Huge
Didn't
game.
you go there? Didn't you go there for a little while? Something? Yeah. Also,
but I mean,
that's college campus, bro. It's humongous. They even expanded more. So, I mean, it's good to see. Like that's what they're doing for the kids investing. So I'm excited to see what that looks like later when the finished product is done.
Well, let me ask you, man. Listen, I told you I don't really follow the NBA, not because, of all the political stuff surrounds it. I mean, that may have a little bit to it, but I just don't got time. I don't even got time to watch SportsCenter, dog. I mean, I checked the ticker, but What's going on, man? How are your Lakers doing? All I've been seeing is memes on Facebook hating on the Clippers. So I'm guessing they out. And then I saw how ironic is it that the Heat are in the Eastern Conference Finals and could possibly face LeBron in the championship.
Crazy.
Give me the NBA news now. I need some NBA news.
I honestly, bro, to be honest, I haven't really been watching. I hadn't really been watching basketball. I think Corona helped me get back into it more. Because since Kobe retired, not since he passed, but I guess when he passed, I kind of started watching it again a little bit too. since he retired, I kind of fell off and been watching a lot more baseball, and I still am. So, you know, but the playoffs has been pretty good. The whole bubble situation is no home court. So, you know, the Lakers, we had like a little baby scare. Just people not scared. Like people was talking about Portland. They're gonna upset you. Oh, then they want to say, that Rockets, you know, they won the game against us. So like, this is the thing. People, the LeBron haters, gonna hate on the Lakers. Except the Lakers fans like myself, we kind of just accept LeBron, you know, because it was Kobe versus LeBron, you know, forever. So me on our team, and it's like, you know, we got all these bandwagon fans that love LeBron. That's like Lake Show, like they've been ripping. Like, man, y'all temporary. I don't really get down with that for real.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Some people like players, some people like teams. I get it, but
yeah, we had that conversation a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so like when LeBron retired, they'll find some new person to cheer for. That's probably gonna be the best player in the league, and they just gonna follow this person winning all over this too. That's kind of the easy way out. That's why I just think it's a team situation. But the Clippers was supposed to be the main matchup for the Lakers, right? Everybody wanted to see that, but man, they lost to the Nuggets. They was up 3-1. It was up 3-1. The Nuggets have erased 2 3-1 deficits in one playoff season. Unbelievable, bro. So
the Nuggets.
The Nuggets from
all it took was to get rid of Carmelo, and then before you know it, they in a Western Conference final, man. Hey. All right, listen.
Mellow troll, but yeah, shout out to the Nuggets that was picking series.
So is that our NBA rundown for?
Yeah. Oh, and that's on the Western side. On the East, man, the Heat, they upset the Bucks, and the Bucks was the 1 seed, and they beat the Celtics last night, and it should be, you know, a pretty good series.
Right.
I think it was like a crazy play at the end that the boy blocked Jason Tatum trying to dunk on him. Like Tatum went up like, I'm gonna bop on you, and old boy was like, nah, son. So out of it, and that was pretty much the end of the game. So great finish. It's been a lot of good basketball being played. If you like basketball at all, and you're missing out on the street if you're not watching the playoffs. That's just what it is. But, and if it's got anything to do with Black Lives Matter, and you don't want to, what's more important? Like, do you love basketball, or do you like feel attacked by the fact that people saying that Black Lives Matter? I don't know, but I don't really care. I love the game.
Well, so my man hopped on early. Mr. Davis, is that your guy, Reed? Mr. Cleve Davis.
Cleve, oh yeah, that's my boy, man.
Okay. Cleve said, right, how about them Cowboys? So listen, first off, no, hold up. You know, I pull for the Cowboys because Dak Prescott was a Mississippi State quarterback. Okay. You know, a Mississippi guy.
That's right.
So
that's right. He's a Louisiana guy too, so I got love.
Okay. So first off, how did LA get off on that first drive, that first touchdown they scored? It was a clear delay of game. It even shows Sean McVay running down the sideline trying to call him out.
Right.
He didn't get it. And they gave him the timeout. Like, you saw it hit 0, and then the ref put his hands in it. The next play they scored. That's awful, first off. That's horrible. That's horrible officiating, right? So they got hosed on that. It ended up being a pretty close game, but still, though, but Dallas's defense really settled in after those first couple of drives. I felt like if they hold them to a field goal there, then that momentum of that ball game is completely different. Because LA, those first couple of drives, man, they were just, you know, they were
blocking. They were good.
They were eating clock.
And Woods did his thing too.
But still, I mean, that's 4 points off the board right there, you know. And I want to talk. I don't really care much about the football game. This is what I'm hot about. Okay.
Okay.
Sean McVay was openly criticized for having his mask down here. during the whole game, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know
Openly criticized.
Somebody didn't see it.
Every time they cut to the coach, during the live feed, he was like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time they cut to Mike McCarthy at Dallas, he was covered up, right? So
okay.
Sean McVay had to issue a fake apology, basically talking about, I'm gonna try to do better. Let me tell you something, Reed. I'm about to lose my mind over the dude. Does nobody else see what I'm seeing right now? I mean, we are at a war with really, like, honest to God reality right now. Sean McVay, the rules stated that coaches are required to wear masks during the game, but not the players. Whoa. Whoa. Hold up. They get tested like every week. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Right. Like twice a week, I think it is.
So we all know that they're not positive before the game starts. So how is Sean McVay or any of these players going to magically infect one another, whether or not they have a mask on or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the sense of just where's common sense there? Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. It's like,
so you saying the coaches shouldn't have to wear a mask? Right?
No. What do you think that when they go in the locker room, they have the mask on where the cameras aren't there, Reed? Let's be honest. What do you think?
The camera's always on.
In the locker room.
The camera's always on, man.
In the locker room, when there's no cameras, do you think that they wear their masks?
Oh.
You think when they go in for halftime talks, they leave the mask on the whole time like this?
No.
So what are we doing, man? Like, what? That's what I'm saying, man. Like, have we lost our touch with, like, reality? And just, I mean, so all these fake apologies and stuff.
Bro. You got me laughing at it.
I'm just saying. Okay, if you look at the report, ESPN put out a report, right? Sean McVay criticized and apologizes. In the report, it's him high-fiving some of his players. None of them got masks on, and he's got it right here. So I just don't understand why we are still at this point of, like, we're trying to, like, uphold an image or something. You know what I'm saying? It just seems crazy, man. I had to let you know about that because you didn't know about it, so I just wanted you to know about it.
I didn't, because, I mean, first of all, I ain't really even had time to follow up with all that. I've been too busy, like, watching John Gruden's interviews and Derek Carr at the press conference, because we got a pretty big game coming up this week, so I can't really be concerning myself for what no other teams got going on. What I do know is that Michael Thomas is hurt and he's not going to be playing against the Raiders. I like John Gruden, so I'm pulling for the Raiders. I'm a so
John
look,
Gruden
this is the next point I'm about to make. So, of course, I watched the game, right? The Raiders versus the Panthers, we won 34-30. John Gruden ain't had no mask on that I can remember. Like, if he did, it was under his throat, like here. It was hot in North Carolina, on Sunday, bro. It was hot out there at that game. So, like, his toupee was flying off and everything. And so it was like he definitely didn't even wear a mask at all. So, what difference does it make? He was high-fiving and it was all good. I don't even remember seeing Matt Rule having a mask on. I do remember seeing the guys in the press box. They had masks on, like Joe Burrow. But
I'm just saying, man. It's I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just frustrating how they have this, like, propaganda to uphold. So the public eye, like, who cares? Who's calling in going, hey man, Sean Payton ain't got his mask on. He gonna get some of the millionaire football players sick. I mean, what is it? Anyway, I'm gonna digress a little bit.
It's like it doesn't really. They on the football field, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody even thinking about it at all.
No.
And I just don't see, these guys getting tested and everything and doing all these different things so they can just be able to play. Then, if they already cleared and they not positive, then why do they need a mask on? I mean, but NBA players not wearing masks in the game.
Reed, every time
those coaches
somebody
not wearing masks in the game either.
every
And
time
you in the bubble, you getting tested. So like it's the same kind of situation for the NFL players. They're not in one specific bubble, but they are like quarantining themselves, which should make you, I don't know.
all I'm saying is like they say now that the way it's transmitted is from someone else's mouth saliva to someone else's mouth, right? So sports like football and basketball, that's more likely to happen than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Anything else. Or soccer, you know what I'm saying? Baseball, not so much, but so it just seems ridiculous. Like if we're really worried about everyone's health, if it's that serious, then they wouldn't be playing the game at all. If it was that serious, they wouldn't be playing the game at all. That's plain and simple. It's some sort of control that I pray to God goes away when this election ends in November. I've thought about that. Could Trump or Biden come out and win votes by saying, hey, man, we're going to end this mask mandate the day I get elected?
They can't do that. The states have to do it. It's a state mandate, bro. They're gonna have to file. They're gonna have to get a federal law passed by the Congress and the Senate. That take forever, honestly. I mean, they could maybe it could happen, in a couple months, but they could make a federal law outlawing masks in the public, be worn in public. Like how would they write that up?
Okay.
Even be able to like mandate that?
What if Trump said, if I get elected, I'm gonna remove all mask mandates possible, and every other Republican that was for Trump and his policy said, yeah, I second that. If I get elected, I'm removing all mask mandates and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like, what couldn't that be?
Can do it.
What I'm saying is
the governors can do it for the states.
Okay, what I'm saying is you haven't heard much in this presidential election time about using COVID as besides the Democrats are saying Trump handled it poorly. You know what I mean? But there's no talk of what am I going to do when I get elected regarding COVID. I feel like if this wasn't an election year, Trump would have stepped in and maybe taken more of a forceful approach to this whole situation. But he's had to be delicate with it because it's an election year, and he don't want to cross the wrong people, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, I think the fact that nobody really knows honestly what this whole thing is and what it's about. For real, like it's a whole new thing. The globe, nobody has experienced it before. So I think Trump, from what I've seen, probably could have been more like proactive against it. And it's nothing he can really do at this point, you know what I'm saying, to like undo that and how it was handled from the beginning. And that's just gonna be a weak point for him, as far as what the Democrats are gonna be able to say. But the thing that the people gonna use against the Democrats is that y'all made us wear masks and the economy got shut down and Trump had the economy booming. So that's all you hear from one side to the other. He at least he had the economy, good, and he's trying to get it back. So it's all good. And then and then the other side is like, he screwed this up. We could have already been back and blah, 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 blah. Everybody just shut up.
but also you and I know that the people affected the people affected least by everything this post-COVID are the ones in that high tax bracket. The ones in that high tax bracket, I mean, how have they even really been affected by this? It's the middle class and lower class people who are struggling. You know, it's that whole rich get richer type thing.
Always how it is.
So I don't know. You know, speaking about this whole like, we're just COVID's freedoms in general. You know what I'm saying? Just shutdowns and what. So a kid that used to play soccer for me, he's in college now, and he put something on social media, and it said, "College kids aren't learning anything currently. We're just submitting assignments." And I thought about that, and I'm like, you know what, man? He's exactly right. And then I think about some of these kids who were doing like virtual learning in high school, middle school, elementary school. What are these kids really learning doing virtual learning? I mean, now look, some schools are doing it right. Some schools are set up to where they're doing Zoom meetings and stuff like this, you know. But can you really learn without that interaction with your teacher? You can have those feedback conversations. You could go off script and talk about something that's on a kid's heart. You know what I'm saying? Like it really, yeah. I'm wondering how much our kids are going to digress that have been, you know, locked out of school for the past 6 months.
I'll say this, bro. And this is what I learned through my own experience, or what I learned from teaching. The people who want to learn are going to learn. And sometimes there are students in classes that want to learn something, but they don't want to learn what's being taught. So, you know, some people just gonna do their work regardless. Some people not gonna do their work regardless. But if a kid has the drive from within to learn, then they will. You know, they will learn what you teach them. I mean, in my classroom, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for the most teachers that are trying hard, you know, giving any kind of effort to do this virtual thing right, that yes, the student can learn if they are driven to learn, because they're going to teach themselves and you just kind of facilitate that learning. But those who are on the fringe and don't really know if they want to do, and the ones who don't, they got an easy out to check out. No question about it. But it's the ones on the fringe that you could gain that interest, or you might lose them. That's where like the battle comes in, where you got to try to like make sure that you're doing whatever you can to reach. You got to do what you can to reach each kid individually, but you can kind of see, you know, which ones need what, and you try to provide that. It just makes it a little difficult. You know, it's possible, but it's so new to all of us that we try to figure it out, because you might lose some things as the day-to-day, you know, proceedings are going on. You're trying to handle your business. You know, some kids can hide and they can get lost in the shuffle. And that's what I've been trying my best, you know, lately, to kind of reach out to some of those kids that are on the fringe and all that. So yeah, it's tough.
Okay. No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I do. About that makes a lot of sense, you know. I guess my thoughts are all colleges, are they all virtual right now, or some doing in person?
Even though I know a good bit of them are virtual. Probably the majority, but I'm sure that there are a few that are doing some face-to-face learning.
So how crazy is it, man? Like all these colleges, high schools that started playing football and having sports, and things have been going well for most of the part here in Mississippi. I mean, we've had a few teams that have had to, like, you know, cancel games on a Friday because one kid tested positive for COVID who wasn't even sick, and now they got to quarantine the whole football team and coaching staff. Like, that stuff's got to stop, man. That stuff has got to stop. People got to stop assuming that because you test positive for COVID that you're going to kill somebody. We got to stop doing that. I mean, we got to stop doing that. If that was the case, then, you know, then more drastic measures then we shouldn't even be in school at all. If that was really the case, then we really shouldn't even be in school. If that was really the case, we shouldn't be playing sports. And I'm telling you, it's not the case. But that's what I mean about being like in a war with reality, Reed. It's like, who are we fooling right now, dog? Like, who are we trying to kid? Like, what is the purpose of some of the act? We're so inconsistent. I say we as in like it makes no
society
sense.
In general. I said that from the jump though. I was like, look, once we got back to school, I was like, why we can't play ball? If we can come to school, being outside on the field is way safer than being in the classroom and in the hallways and in the cafeteria and in the library and in the office. You know what I'm saying? Like all the different, confined places in buildings. And we can't go outside and have a football game and people running around and, whatever. It never made sense to me. But if we can't play ball, then we shouldn't be in school either because it's still that serious. And if that was the case, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in a hurry to die. I'm not in a hurry to get sick. I'm not in a hurry to get anyone else sick. You know what I'm saying? And there are people who I know I'll be out a little bit more, because I'm teaching. So I do try to like stay on the people, my circle of people, you know what I'm saying? And try not to be moving around too much and doing too much because it is still, it's not like I don't take the virus seriously. I wear my mask everywhere I go. And I'm going to continue to do that until I feel like, I look at the numbers and it's like, all right, it's all good.
I read.
And as long as it's mandated for us to wear masks, I'm definitely going to wear it then.
Reed, I got to be honest with you.
Disrespectful to it.
I do not take this virus seriously. I just don't. Like, I don't.
You done with it? You're over it?
I've been done with it. We've been talking for months. Like, I don't, it's I just don't want to live in fear. That's just not, it's not in me. And yes, I'll wear my mask if, it means I get to coach and teach, you know what I'm saying? Or do whatever, go in the store. But I see more and more people starting to kind of just let it go, man. I went to Destin for 3 days last weekend. Florida don't care. Destin don't care, man. Look, there's thousands of people on the beach. We went to, little resort area where they got golf courses and they got, this all kind of shopping areas and restaurants and all kind of stuff. Right. And I would say there's maybe 3% of people that were wearing masks. 3%.
3? Oh, that's low.
But here's the irony of it. Here's the irony of it, Reed. This is what I want to ask you. Out of the 3% of people that were wearing masks, the majority of them were non-white people.
Yeah, white people don't take it serious, bro.
I'm saying like it was like Hispanics, Black people, Middle Eastern Indian, whoever. They were more prevalent to wear masks than white people.
From the beginning, it was said that Black people have been more susceptible to victims of coronavirus. So, that's right. I'm gonna take it more serious.
Hey man, put him on. He's singing coronavirus. Is he singing coronavirus?
Look what Cardi B do to you. Look what Cardi B do to your kids.
That coronavirus made me sing the song.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. We're just talking about it. We almost finished, bro.
You have to
all right, I got you. Thank you.
That's funny.
You're funny.
No, but I mean, like.
Oh, I forgot what I was talking about.
No. Yeah, so yeah,
talking about the math. The people of color, African American community, a little higher.
Well, and one reason, black people don't get as much vitamin D than like outside. You know what I'm saying? So I've heard that black people are more of a risk too because, they don't intake, I guess, vitamin D levels as high because of the skin color. Does that make sense?
Melanin blocks the sun more.
There you go.
Our melanin blocks the skin more. I'm not sure that that's the case. I haven't done the knowledge on that, but that is, our skin does block the sun more and protect us a little bit more from the UV rays.
Right.
Some people don't believe black people can get sunburned, but that's false.
Yeah. I've seen sunburned black people a whole lot. So yeah, that's definitely true. No, but like
okay, you gotta step out for a second. I'm out right quick.
Go ahead. Just you can handle your business. It's all good.
Close the door, Max.
Let's see. All right, so yeah,
they want to sing Billie Jean.
That's kind of fun.
Get ready to wrap this thing up.
All right. Well, listen, but it's just funny because, like, even the mask wearing thing could be kind of a division. It's a division. I don't want to say it's a. Is it a race? Is it a race thing though?
You got your mask on.
Is it a race thing though? Is it a? You think it's a racial division? Maybe not. Let me ask you something.
Bro, race can be divided along so many lines, bro. I ain't got time to be tripping on nobody if they wear a mask or not. I really don't.
Okay.
Look, like, I don't want you around me because you don't have a mask, then I'm gonna just go from around you. There's no place that I need to be that's important. Where I feel like, if I'm gonna be at risk, because other people are not gonna wear their masks, then I'm just not going there. And I'm cool with that. I don't really care.
Well, okay, so what I'm saying is that, like, with all the police stuff going on, there's a large outcry from mainly, black Americans about the police violence and whatnot. So I think that's mine. They have the freedom to express their disbeliefs, their and just speak their mind, whether it's the political stuff that the NBA is going through or whatnot. Just voicing their opinion, and people are like, okay, we have to respect that. We are going to respect that. You know what I mean? But it's aimed towards police more so than it is like politicians, if that makes sense. Because police can maybe change certain things about them, but their training.
These individuals, bro, they like regular people, man.
Yeah.
And I think like people forget that. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they forget that. Like, you're a regular person, bro, just like I am. So if you was in my shoes, how would you want the situation to be handled? That's what policing needs to be, kind of like the golden rule of treat people how you want to be treated. Like that applies. So a lot of police let that authority get to them and don't respect people's humanity. And then if you add racial stereotypes and bias and indoctrination or racism that takes place in this society, then of course that's gonna happen. And or we talked about the origins of the police and the foundations of America in general, historically. Racism is rooted in it. So it's not going to escape from one another until individuals choose to not partake in it and respect each other's humanity. So that's why you have those situations. But I don't typically like lump every police officer in that. I do, acknowledge those facts and that history, and that's part of it. And those individuals who participate in that kind of behavior, they don't need to be police. But some people do need to be police, and some people don't. And some people do see humanity in others, and they try to, they really are there to serve people. And I've had, like I said, the majority of my run-ins with police, and the police that I know have treated me with humanity. But that doesn't mean they treated everyone else with it, and I don't respect that if they don't.
Okay, so,
personally.
And like I said, everyone has their own experiences with it. So I'm trying to get to a story that I saw out of Little Miami, Ohio. Little Miami High School, based in Ohio. Um, let's just say your dad was a police officer and my dad was a firefighter, right? They have these. I knew about the thin blue line, the thin red line. It's like these American flags, basically, to have like a a certain type design to them that represents police officers of America and firefighters of America, right? Which, ironically enough, you're not supposed to like. That's like degrading the flag in itself by changing the colors and stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You're not even supposed to do that.
Right. If you look at but
Yeah.
so two senior high school football players, they played on 9/11, and one of them's dad was a firefighter, one's a police officer. So when they come out in their little blow up tunnel before every game, they usually have just a kid carrying an American flag. Well, the two senior football players told the administrators, they were like, hey, we're going to run out with the firefighter flag and the police flag, just representing all the victims who died on 9/11, because it was 9/11 and they wanted to honor them.
Uh-huh.
So they ran out on the field with the flags. Come to find out, the administrators told them, they were like, you don't need to do that. That's not a good idea. And they were like, what? So they did
this heat on us, basically, what the
yes
was trying to say.
But what they did was they brought more heat on them because the kids did it anyway.
They did it anyway because they
and they came out there, they were waving it, you know what I'm saying? And they was waving it
in the ground.
And anyway, so they played the football game, and then they were notified the next day that they were suspended indefinitely for the remainder of the season. They couldn't play no more football. So I ask you, Malcolm.
Brother Malcolm.
First off, is this offensive to you, to the people of Black Lives Matter that are protesting the injustices of police officers?
Speak for them. I'm just saying that right now.
Okay.
I can't speak on. I can't speak for them.
Okay, then you answer the first part of my question. Then, so is this right? Is this wrong? Are these kids being, wrongly profiled for their actions? Are people assuming that by them doing this, they are standing? I mean, I'm totally lost with this story, but also how does the administration and school board have the authority to, in a sense, speak for, like you just said, speak for people who may be offended by this?
Well, okay. So first off, I'm not offended by it personally. If they were trying to honor the New York Fire Department or NYPD or any other entity that is law enforcement, they wanted to do that, the proper protocol for that, Trey, is to ask for permission. Don't surprise. You can't really surprise your coaching staff, your teammates, or administration, or the fans with a political statement like that because of the climate that we are in. The press that comes with it is not going to have to be handled by the kids as much as it's going to have to be handled by the adults. So that might be why the adults was like, we just going to fall back off that. But there could have been another way, right? There could be another way to protest other than kneeling. Honor your people. I digress. Anyway, so no, I'm not offended by that, and it's whatever. And man's was like, no. So when they were told don't do it, they deliberately disobeyed them. And what's worse, they put Nala in danger. No, but they deliberately disobeyed the orders of the administration. And since they did that, then they got the right to suspend them. Like we told you don't do it, and you did it anyway. And you threw it, you waved it in everybody's face. You didn't try to sneak and do it. You weren't subtle or discreet. You were like, F you, principal. I'm going to do what I want. And the principal didn't want that. So they put themselves in a position. Maybe they were standing up for what they believe in, and that's cool. But if you was told no and you got the principal of the school and you did it anyway, then you gotta live with those consequences for sure. And they gotta live with the decision that they made. And that's a lesson learned. And it's noble. I think they might have had noble intentions, maybe, but at the same time, I don't really know where their heart is as far as this whole police situation goes. And where they stand on police brutality with on people of color, and if they were okay with it and support it. And if they do, then shame on them. But if they don't, and they was really if they was only really thinking about honoring those people from 9/11, then their heart is in the right place. And I support that. But
again,
hey, my school,
they were sons of firefighters and police officers.
That too.
So
right.
Okay. So
they honor, so they shot them, they pops out. You too. Like,
but is
my dad.
but I mean, who is it really offending? Yeah, they're told not to do it, but you know what? A lot of players were told not to kneel. They were told not to protest. They were told not to boycott, and they did it anyway. They, and people were outraged. The media was outraged. How dare they allow this to happen? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, like history repeats itself. Well, in this case, it's a very short history. Like, the problem is there's no public outcry to like have these kids expelled or suspended. You know what I'm saying?
Shouldn't be, yeah. Like,
but it's just, we're just talking about a few people who made this decision. It's not like, no one's protesting against anything.
Right.
These kids weren't protesting.
Right.
They weren't, they weren't trying to bring awareness. They weren't trying to bring awareness to nothing. They weren't trying to, have any form. They were just pretty much saying, we want to honor the victims of 9/11. And because our dads are firefighters and police officers.
You think they were that naive though, Trey, that they weren't aware that might be controversial, especially after the principal told them they didn't want to do it? Like they can't be that. Like teenagers are all on the grid, basically. None of them, very few of them, are like detached from, the news and what's going on social media and everything that's going on in society as far as Black Lives Matter movement and social justice movements in general. So I don't think that I assume, I could be wrong, that they at least had an idea that might rub some people the wrong way if you were a person who supported George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Like if you.
But how though is what I'm saying.
Because, bruh, some people like really feel like the police ain't
we cancel culture. But I'm okay.
Some people have taken it there for.
Here's what I'm saying. Okay, so we've talked about this before. The administrator said basically it's illegal to do what you want to do. We talked about this.
Not illegal, but
against the rules. We'll say against the rules.
Permission from the principal.
But just because something is not legal or you have permission to do, that does not make it immoral or wrong. Remember, we used to have laws in this country that were about as far from a Christian, moral, Jesus way of life, and yet they were illegal, or they were legal.
They were illegal. Yeah.
It's the same thing with, I feel like it's the same thing in terms of, I just think that had this happened a year ago, last football season, these two kids would have not faced any backlash. The principals would be like, "Yeah, go ahead." But why?
But it ain't a year ago. It's 2020.
But why do we have to be sensitive to something that doesn't affect those people in that community? Read the demographics of Little Miami High School, by the way, 10% minority. 10% minority.
And
that's not even really. And look,
That doesn't shock me. That's what I figured.
But I'm saying that may be 5% black, and the other 5% is Asian, Hispanic, and Middle Eastern, whatever. But I'm just saying though, so you're talking about a town who's not really probably a town in a community who's not ultimately probably affected by the situation that happened with George Floyd or Jacob Blake, So to them, it's a different reasoning behind it. You're trying to tell me you think that these kids are like, we're going to show these.
No, man, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they was like, yo, man, your dad is a cop. My dad is a fireman, man. We buddies, we're pals. Man, let's do something special for him. Let's do something special. We got this game on 9/11. They probably been raised in that, police, like the kid might want to be a cop or something. I don't know. Well, anyway, he probably was just like, it'll be a great idea. We go out there, for these folks.
Can I read you the quote from one of the kids? They interviewed him after the game.
Read. Okay.
One of the kids said, I was all for it, Bentley said, because my dad is a firefighter. And if it had been him killed on 9/11, I would have wanted someone to honor him that way. He said, I don't care what my consequences are. As long as my message gets across, I'll be happy. Superintendent Greg Powers suggests that the boys' decision to show respect for first responders by flying the flags represented a political point of view.
It is.
Remember we talked about though,
but it is
politics. Okay, hold on.
Trey, everything is political.
We can't have. So the superintendent said we can't have students who decide to do something anyway after they've been told they should be doing it. I agree with that. We did not want to place ourselves in a circumstance where another family might want a different flag to come out of the tunnel. Let's see. One that be from other families may not agree with the political perspective. And they asked the boy, they said, did you meant for it to be political? He said, no, not at all. I was just doing it to honor the people that lost their lives 19 years ago. So anyway.
Everything. I wish I had like the etymology of politics, the word political or politics like near me right now. But everything has a political base. Every statement that you make is it doesn't have to mean it's for an election, but it's still like the politics of living life and moving within, it's like socio-political navigation. If you follow me.
No. It's like you could have a football coach.
Science of art of government. Art of government. No.
I'm saying, okay. No, I know what you mean. You could have a football coach at a school who's making decent money and he's got a decent competitive team year in, year out, right? Doesn't always have the best players and best talent, but he's happy. And he knows if he goes to this school over here, he's going to have to deal with the politics of what that job brings. More pressure, more money, more talent. And some coaches are like, man, I don't want to have to deal with the politics of that job. Things can get very political. You see it in high school. You go to
high schools. How many high schools? No, let me ask this question. Do you know of a high school that does not have politics involved? Do you know of one? Of course you're gonna claim it.
No. Listen, man. The last two schools I've worked at, coach soccer at, I've been blessed, man. I don't feel any pressure from parents, from administration, from my AD. I just get to enjoy inspiring kids. Now I have friends. I have friends in the coaching field that work for other schools, bigger schools. And I've been assistant coaches at some big schools. Let me tell you something, man. These parents, they would try to befriend a coach 2 years before their kid tries out. Because you get in this community and everybody knows everybody. And and then you see the tryout list come out and you go, how did he make the team and this kid didn't? How is that possible? Well, so and so goes to church and is on the he's a deacon in the church with Mr. So and so, or they're in the Rotary Club together. They've known each other for a long time, or this is a new kid. He just moved here. We don't really know nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, politics happen in every
politics.
aspect.
You could go all the way down to the little league football. You know what I'm saying? The little league sports and travel baseball and all that, man, it's all involved all over the place. It's just, it's whether the leadership in that position is handling this situation properly, and the politics can work out properly for everybody in a good way. If it's done, if the leadership position is working right, then they can dot their T's, dot their I's. Their lowercase j's too, and cross their T's, and and then they figure it all out. But other people who try to snake and do this, and will do this person a favor and hook this person up, it's gonna catch you up. It's gonna catch up to you in the end. So so and the point that I'm making is that administrator at that school was trying to avoid this situation. They didn't want us talking about it in Mississippi and Louisiana. They wanted to keep their stuff in-house. They don't want no media circles coming to their school. But that's exactly what they got. And because the kids didn't listen. And so they made a political statement. And now that leadership, that administration has to handle it, and they handle it the best way they see fit. And they made their statements and they got to move on now. And maybe those kids get to play again, maybe they don't. But I tell you what, however they handle it is going to determine what's going to happen next. And it's going to be example for the whole country, not just because everybody watching to see what they're going to do now. Everybody who's aware, at least.
But let me tell you how political it does get. Immediately, it becomes an ultimate division because the hardcore right-wing Republicans are going, this is an outrage.
They'll be like, yeah.
This is an outrage.
They're going to set up a GoFundMe for them.
These kids, and ultimately, I kind of empathize with the kids. Like, man, to lose my father, you know what I mean? And just on 9/11, and I want to honor him and everyone like him.
Did he lose his father? Did this kid lose his father on 9/11?
No. He was just saying, like, his
he was saying if that was the case, but that ain't the case for him. So the hypothetical has no weight in that in your defense.
and it's just kind of like, I think these kids, with the statement they made, the statement that was made was they don't have the freedom to express their beliefs, and they don't have the freedom to express their rights. Reed,
that ain't true.
How is it not true?
That ain't true, man. Okay.
It was peaceful. It was peaceful. Right, bro, it wasn't a demonstration. It wasn't a protest. It was they said it was their way of honoring the police officers and firefighters of 9/11. What is wrong with that message?
Nothing is wrong with the message. It's not their platform. It wasn't permissive. It wasn't. They didn't have permission.
So we're gonna perceive. We're gonna have the perception that they intended evil with their political statement.
No, it's not ill intent, but they didn't have permission. It ain't like Kaepernick situation. Kaepernick had talked to people already. They knew what he was doing. They let it slide at first. Then once everybody got wind of it, then they was like, all right, he can't play no more. He got suspended indefinitely, and he's still out the league 4 years later. So they was like, we gonna make a political statement at a football game too. They did it. Now they suspended indefinitely, just like him. What's the difference?
But looking back,
and they even told him, and you are a student at the school, bro. The difference, NFL, these grown men, they're not at school. This is a job. This is a profession.
Yeah,
they are protected by more of the First Amendment's rights than a student at school that gives up a lot of their First Amendment rights. and well, not just First Amendment, but their rights in general for the safety of others. Like you can't, like you can, school can search your backpack whenever you want when you come to school, but police can't just search your house, search your car, or search your person without probable cause. If you know that,
tell that to Gilbert Arenas.
He had probable cause on him. People told that he had full guns on him.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying though. So like you're in a situation where you don't have, if you don't know exactly, you could have a silent peaceful protest. But if the teacher or coach or there's rules in place that says that this is not permissible based off the guidelines of the school or the district that the school is in.
Yeah.
If you break that, then you open yourself to the consequences, and that's what they did. I'm not saying that they like wrong. You know what I'm saying? That they was harming anybody. I'm not offended by it at all. Like, the message of honoring people who died at 9/11, bro, is a noble one. Like we can all agree on that. Like I don't know who is that far left that like, you know.
Well, there's some people that think that like, you know, Bush like did it and it's a conspiracy.
Inside job could have been possible.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. But whether it's a possibility or not,
people still lost their lives.
People still died and they was trying to save other people.
Ooh,
and they
that's
lost
the thing.
You can't knock them fat.
So what me and you can
that part.
What me and you can agree on is that the superintendent should just let them do it. And it wouldn't have made as much news as it probably, we wouldn't be talking about it had he just been like, all right, boys, that's fine. We wouldn't be talking about it. I think
they should have listened to the adults.
Yeah, I agree. But even still, you know, I think that
they could have planned something together to honor 9/11 at the football game. Like as a school, they could have had a moment of silence right after the national anthem or before. And kind of just say some words to honor and respect, you know, let it be, you know, a ceremony before the game that maybe those two players could come out and say some words, you know, in their uniform. Or when the ROTC people go out there and hold the flags for the national anthem, like they could have held those flags right there, you know, then, or maybe, I don't know. But maybe I think it would have been more specific about what flag. If they would have held the FDNY flag and the NYPD flag to say this is specifically about those officers and firemen. You hold that blue line, that's like opposite. That's like anti-Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying?
That's so hard to comprehend. That's so hard to comprehend that people get that easily like triggered.
What people who are like anti-Black Lives Matter, which sounds so bad. Like you're against the lives of Black people mattering when you just be like Black Lives Matter is bad. Right. That's why having it as an organization is I don't really get that. But anyway, people who are anti-Black Lives Matter do like put that little blue sticker. Some do, not all of them. That doesn't automatically make you anti-Black Lives Matter, because but Blue Lives Matter is like the counter.
It is a counter. It is.
Yeah. So and that's what that flag represents. So.
Let me tell you what it boils down. And look, I just got some breaking news. The boys' suspensions were lifted. They were reversed. So, yeah. But here's what it boils down to, Reed. With everything like this, I could be off here, but this is, I'm just going, maybe we can kind of wind down with this, because I know it's getting there. Why is it that white people and Black people are always calling out each other for their flaws and what they should do better and how they're supposed to act towards something and what they should believe in and what they should be upset about? Like, I think we would have, things would be more impactful to change racially if white people, and I hate even we're saying having white and Black because we're just people in general, but you know, every time every time something happens that has happened in the past 6 months, there is immediate divide, black and white, just like with these two kids in the flag situation. It immediately, the media will divide it into a black and white thing, a Black Lives Matter versus a police matter. You know what I'm saying? Like it always gets divided there, but I'm constantly intrigued by hearing, like, I don't need a white person to tell me, how I'm like, that talks to me as if they're in the mind of a black person. It's like, I don't need a black person to talk to me as if they're in the mind of a white person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's different perspective there, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's like, I don't want white people. White people don't stop getting on a platform to tell the world about black people's problems. Black people do this. Black people, I'm just saying, black people stop using a platform to tell the world about white people's problems. Like, we would make easier progress if we could reverse that. Like, Reed, I know you and trust you, but if some dude came off the street and was like, "Hey man, this is your problem. You need to deal with this and recognize it now." Like, man, I don't know you, and you don't know me. But so when you're trying to speak from a perspective of, listen, man, black people, let me tell you something. This is what the problem is. They need to stop, aborting babies and killing people with guns and stuff. They kill their own people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, your face, bro.
So it's like,
no, that's how they be looking when they be saying it too. Like,
but like immediately, but black people are just as worse about it. You know what I mean? And ironically, I'm doing it right now. Black people. But give me an example. Yeah. Give me an example.
All right. So I honestly think that we do it less than y'all do, but we be trying to tell white people that they need to just listen to us when we be trying to tell them. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, this is happening to us. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, we, the killings in the neighborhood be going on, and we don't. There's no marches and there's no outcry, no public outcry, but there is. Families are hurting all over the country in black communities because of violence that happens by other black people. Excuse me. But that doesn't mean it's okay for y'all to be violent towards us or create all these systems that's been created and put in place that hold black people down. And now, Shine said this, hip hop is not responsible for violence in America. America is responsible for violence in America. So the violence that is, that black people was created by America, because we was brought here, stripped of everything, not taught anything, and then re-educated. And now this is the product. You got some people who re-educated themselves and some people who just buy into what society teaches them. And that's to be violent and just, be a criminal. And poverty is another part in that too. So that's what helps the cycle to continue. And then poor schooling, poor healthcare, and all these other situations. So I ain't trying to tell people to teach, and I don't think most black people, I guess, want white people to just listen, and then we be like, "Yeah, don't listen." And it's
okay.
Hard. I can't really say. At the end of the day, I can't really say because I can only speak for myself, and that's another part of the trait.
Exactly.
One black person don't speak for all black people, and one white person don't speak.
Right, but or one Republican or one Democrat speaking for each other. I'm just saying, it's just, but there's the continual argument of that. It's, like, Reed, you're gonna tell your kids, just like I tell my son. I'm like, Josh, I listened to a lot of music when I was your age that was very inappropriate, that talked about a lot of bad things that I definitely wouldn't want to, just, have a part of my daily life. You know what I mean? And I tell Josh that. But I said, I can get lost in music because I look at it like an art. You know what I mean? Some of it may be real, some of it maybe not, but I can still understand the difference between reality and music I'm listening to. But then, you hear, growing up in the 80s and the 90s, government, hip hop, rap music is killing our youth, destroying the minds of our youth. Maybe so, but it didn't destroy my mind. You know what I'm saying? It didn't affect me in a bad way. It didn't affect you in a bad way. You know what I mean? So
all positive, really.
It's
at least.
It's just more than just influence, just like social media. It can influence young girls to be, as sexually provocative and open in a very young age, but not my kids. I've talked to my kids. My kids don't have social media right now at their age, and I've also told them, what you see is not real, and it's just anyway. I'm kind of getting off track, but I'm just saying, going back to the black and white thing, is that somehow, still, even more still, the message seems to get across easier. If a black Democratic politician is speaking about things that a white Republican politician has also said, then those black people are going to hear it in two different versions. They could say the exact same thing in the exact same tone, but the black people will take it in a different way. It's the same with white people. The majority of white people could hear a black Republican or a black Democrat.
Yeah, I'm about to say is.
You know what I'm saying? It works both ways, and a large part of that is fault to the media. But people like myself and you, Young, we've got to continue to break that trend and encourage others to break that trend and to talk to your kids and to tell them what's right, because we know that ultimately that can't be what defines all of us, as a whole. But anyway.
Yep. That's it, bro. But look, it's 9:19. It's about that time to go ahead and shut it down before we go. That's some good stuff we can talk about all night. I gotta talk some more noise to these Saints fans about here because the Raiders is coming. It's on. It's on. John Gruden, Derek Carr.
I'm with you. I'm going for the Raiders. All right. I'm gonna leave you with this, Reed. Are you ready?
Let's go.
You had to choose right now. Right now. Lakers win the NBA title or Raiders win the Super Bowl? What you got? You had to choose one. Which one?
Raiders win the Super Bowl. That's no hesitation. Raiders win the Super Bowl.
Even though Kobe died, they gonna win it for Kobe? Dang, dog, you don't even care about Kobe. You ain't even a Kobe fan, dog. Oh. Okay.
You hear what he said, bro?
Okay.
He know my heart.
Raiders.
But I seen the Lakers win. I seen the Lakers win 5 NBA championships.
Raiders lose in the Super Bowl. Or Lakers win the NBA title. You had to choose one.
Well, Lakers win the title, man. I'm not gonna ever choose losing over winning.
Okay, all right.
I've seen the Raiders lose in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you have. Okay.
I've seen that. It's not
all right.
The Bucks.
Well, all right, man. Well, look, it's been a minute.
I also lived through the Tuck rule.
By the way,
we got to beat these Saints this week, man.
Did you see what happened to Stephen Gostkowski, the Mississippi legend? Did you see what happened?
Boy, yeah.
Huh?
Did I see it?
He did. Is he on your fantasy? Is he your fantasy guy?
The spread was 3. No, the spread was 3 points.
But hey, let me give you some. He missed 3 field goals and extra point.
And an extra point, man.
But he made the one that
Disrespecting all-star
counts.
special team.
He made the one that counted. That's all that
That
matters.
didn't count for me.
But had he made every field goal to that point and missed it, would you be talking about the ones that he made? Nope. That's the life of a kicker, bro. You can make the game winner and miss the previous 4, but people are like, he's anyway. All right, but yeah. Minshew Mania, Gardner Minshew out of Mississippi. He's coming hard too out of Jacksonville. 19 for 20.
I got him on one of my fantasy. I got him on my fantasy. Auto draft picked him, but it's cool.
Okay.
He could be the backup.
No. All right, man. Well, take care. We'll have to get back up in a couple weeks, man. At least before the NBA Finals kicks off. All right.
Yeah, it's cool. It's tight on us right now. I'm going live Monday night. So I might just go from the page. You know what I'm saying?
What you got on Monday night?
The Raiders and the Saints, bro. It's a Monday night game.
That'd be
Vegas.
good. I think you should go live, and I might hop on as well.
Yeah,
right.
bro. I'm going nuts.
Okay. We'll do that. All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, bro. That's it, man. Yep.
All right, man.
Peace. Thank y'all for coming again. Chestnut Checkers signing out. We're gonna figure this thing out one way or another. Peace.